This show is brought to you by John Hughes and ORE Off-Road Equipment. Welcome to DriveWA. Today, Taryn's going to see Exmouth's Ningaloo Reef with a snorkel, while Mark keeps his feet dry in a glass-bottom boat. We'll also learn how to get out of a jam in the sand and head out from Exmouth into the beautiful Indian Ocean. On our last episode, Mark and Taryn were in the beautiful area known as Coral Bay, about 1,100 kilometres north of Perth. They were heading north through some pretty spectacular country and ended up on the western side of the Northwest Cape near Exmouth in the Cape Range National Park. They just met Dave from the Ningaloo Coral Explorer, so let's join them to discover one of the most amazing reef systems on the planet. The Ningaloo Coral Explorer leaves from the eastern side of the Northwest Cape, very close to the Exmouth town site, and it's a purpose-built glass-bottom vessel. Dave has made sure it caters for everyone with full shade, disabled access, padded seating, an onboard toilet and a dive platform with a ladder. At different times during the year, you could see humpback whales, sharks, dugongs, manta rays and many stunning tropical fish, not to mention the coral.
Okay, this is obviously the Ningaloo Reef. Now the Ningaloo Reef is the largest fringing reef system in the world. You've all heard of the Great Barrier Reef? The difference basically between a fringing reef and a barrier reef is actually just the distance between the shoreline and the reef. With the Great Barrier Reef you might have to travel 2 to 3 hours to get to the reef. With the Ningaloo it can be as close as 10 metres offshore. It starts here, it goes around the point, and it goes down about 240 k's, just south of Coral Bay. Most reef systems in the world at the present time are dying off at 5%. The Ningaloo Reef is actually growing at 5%. And the reason why scientists believe this to be so is it's fed by what's called the Lewin Current. And it's full of nutrients and it's a warm jet of stream water comes down from the north and travels down the coast of Western Australia. Now I'm going to take you out now and show you some broken corals. And you're going to go, what? Why broken corals? I want you to see this. This is a part of nature. In 1999 we had a cyclone that came into Exmouth called Cyclone Vance. And it took out 3/4 of Exmouth. The winds were gathered at over 300 kilometres per hour. And the cyclonic wave action destroyed a lot of this reef here. But there is regrowth. And considering it's only been 10 years, it's actually a split second in the lifetime of a reef. For the reef to achieve what it was before Cyclone Vance, it will not happen in my lifetime. Okay, we're just starting to go over broken reef now. But that's okay, because even underneath all of this broken reef, you'll get small fish and crustacean come through, and then you'll get bigger fish and so on, and life continues. It's all a part of nature. Now we're going to have a look at some real corals. Now, do any of you know what the word Ningaloo means? No. It's actually an Aboriginal word, and it means nape of cape or promontory. But I find that all a little bit too highfalutin. I like to call it the end of your nose. And in fact, Cape Range over here is an old reef system. Now in this particular area, we mainly get, 90% of what we get here are hard corals.
Mushroom coral.
All the corals have Latin names, but they're all too hard to say.
Bluefish.
And the way I like to call it is, if it looks like a plate, it's a plate coral. If it looks like a brain, a brain. Looks like antlers, it's called staghorn coral.